Sometimes as leaders, there's not much to hold on to. You may have only a sliver of hope, particularly when you talk about government, because people in government can be disillusioned, they can be disenchanted, they have come up with ideas, nothing has happened over years, and then you come into the situation and you inherit all of that, and guess who gets blamed? It's you, because you're at the top. You may have had nothing to do with it in whatever department you're holding. By the way, let me go back and say, a leader is not only the person from the top. Every one of us is a leader. Every single one of us. It doesn't matter where you're placed, because leadership is a 360-degree affair. Leaders can lead from the top, they can lead from the bottom, they can lead from anywhere in the middle, and we are able to influence everyone. If the leader at the top did not need anybody at the bottom and in the middle, they would be taking a walk. They would not be leading. Because we all need each other in order to be able to perform our duties well as leaders. Leadership is influence, and it's an influence of followers. And it doesn't matter from which quarter those followers come. If you're a leader, you're influencing others, and others are following you. If you're not influencing anyone, guess what? You're taking a walk. The F-14, by the way, also carries missiles, huge missiles, that are able to go more than 100 miles per hour. So imagine you coming in, you have not discharged all of the missiles that you went out with. If you're not able to connect properly, what's going to happen to you if you crash on the deck with all the missiles? Everybody's in trouble. So leaders have to think not only for themselves, they have to think for everybody else who is in the team. You cannot afford to be an alone leader. You cannot afford to be a leader who competes. You cannot afford to be a leader who compares. You have to be a leader who complements. Find out each and every person's strength and use each and every person's strength to leverage for the good of all. I don't know what has happened in Suriname, but if you don't read, you'll never find out. Because as leaders, we need to know those things, to know where are we leading our countries, where do we want our countries to go, what are we up against, how do you lead in darkness? You cannot lead in darkness until you know what you are leading. F-14 fighters have to land in pitch dark, but they have to land in pitch dark at night when they are doing night missions. How do you land on a bombing surface that is that small with an aircraft that big when you have not read upon it and studied and trained and trained and trained and trained over and over and over again? In most African countries, the biggest opposition, training and development. We're expected just to lead. Don't train them. Don't develop them. Don't worry about them. Just put them in position to be leaders. Because there are powers that be behind us that depend on our ignorance. When we know, they lose. When we don't know, they win. And guess what? I am one of the people who's an African who is tired of foreign powers winning. I am sick of it. And since they cannot bring the change, I am willing to bring about the change. I don't know about you. When you leave the office, every day, there's so much that you're taking with you. An F-14 carries so much fuel. 72,000 pounds of the airplane has to carry fuel, has to carry enough power to discharge the 6 big missiles that they carry. Look at how much fire they carry on their back when they take off. It's not easy. Being a leader is not easy. There are casualties along the way. Just look at that. That's not just smoke. That is a mirage of fire coming out of the backside of an F-14. If you're cushy in your leadership position and everything is hunky-dory, guess what? You're in the wrong position. Leadership is hard. That is why you have to be fearless. You have to make it within your mind, make up your mind that you're going to lead your country for the betterment of your country. I see so many of my countrymen leading half-heartedly. And I don't need half-hearted leaders. I need leaders who can go out there and say, I know it's going to be tough, but I'm up for the job. And I'm going to do it. Because I'm not looking at myself. I am looking at the generations to come. The question I ask leaders, and I'm going to ask you today, will your country be better off because you were in your leadership position the day you leave, or will they be worse off because you were in your leadership position? Simple question you have to ask yourself. Is Suriname going to be better off because you were here as a leader? Or is Suriname going to be worse off because you were here as a leader? You make the decision. Nobody can make it for you. Fundamentals of fearless leadership. First one is courage. If you're going to lead fearlessly, you have to have courage. Courage, by the way, is not the absence of fear. People think, oh, I'm courageous, I have no fear. It's not the absence of fear. It's doing it even when you're afraid. Tenacity. Leadership, fearless leadership takes tenacity. You have to be a bulldog and hold on by everything you can. Because I'm a Christian, David has already shared. I'll share a lot from what I read. I believe that that's the book that I read, the Bible, is my best reference point. I cannot refer from other religions because I don't know them and I don't want to offend. Imagine me trying to tell you about some other religion that I don't know and getting it all wrong. But you know, the Bible has something. I often hear people who read the Bible says you cannot learn anything from Satan. That's a lie. From Satan, I have learned tenacity. That man is persistent. He will trouble you over and over and over and over again. Then you think, oh, I have overcome that. Then he comes back, he gives you a little break, and he comes back again. Troubles you over and over and over and over again. Tenacity says, I must be able to stick to it even when it is hard as a leader. I said it already, you're going to get criticized. People are going to talk about you. People are going to disrespect you. People are going to say, you don't matter. But it doesn't matter what they say or do. Hold on. Because as a leader, you cannot bring about changes if you don't hold on. Have the tenacity, just pray for God to close your ears and open your eyes. I can hear you. Integrity says you earn their trust by doing what is right. In other words, integrity is even stuff that you do when nobody is around. When the minister is around, we deal well with one another. When she's not around, you say, what do you want from the office of the minister? It will just cost you about maybe 20,000. I can get you through. It's just going to be 20,000. Those are not the kind of leaders we want. What I see must be what it is every day. What I see in front of your top leaders must be what I see away from your top leaders. What I see among your colleagues must be what I see when your colleagues are not there. Integrity says, I do what is right, come rain or come sunshine. Integrity unfortunately, is one of those words that people keep in a drawer. You know what the drawer is called? Keep out. It's written keep out. Nobody can get into there. Keep out. This is my drawer. This is my personal thing. It's relative. Integrity is not. Integrity is a fabric of who we are as leaders. In other words, what I am doing as a leader, I do because I know that it's going to benefit my country, and so I do it to the best of my ability every day. Vision. Vision is simply sight for the heart. If as leaders we don't have that vision within us, we will never be able to materialize it because it's not there. What our eyes cannot see, what is in our heart, what we yearn for, what we want to bring about as leaders, that's vision. Vision, it sees where the eye cannot reach. So leaders, and I won't go too much into it because David did, leadership needs to be visionary leaders. A vision will fence in your life. I know women who have broken the boundaries around their lives because they have no vision even for themselves. So if you don't have a vision for yourself, let me guarantee you this, you will never have a vision for your nation. Vision starts with me having a vision for what kind of a life do I want? What vision do I have about my life? And once I know that, then I can have a vision for the country. I can have a vision for my workplace. Fearless leadership says I put boundaries around myself and I don't allow you where you're not allowed. And it doesn't matter how much power you hold. It doesn't matter how much influence you hold. I dictate the terms as to how you relate to me. Don't give up your powers. Have a vision for your own lives. Have a vision for yourselves.